My name is Inny and I am a PPC Manager in Circus PPC. I think forecasting is important for quite a few reasons. So first of all, you have to plan the budgets with the client to make sure that they have enough cash flow, they have enough funds to support the strategy that you want to go with. Second of all, I think that forecasting is particularly important when clients forecast their delivery of the products, especially for e-commerce clients, because they often have to pre-order products a few months beforehand. So if you can give client data of how much you expect to sell and how much money they expect to make for them as a business, then they can forecast better of what they need to order to be delivered to their warehouses. And then that whole chain of process of actually getting the product to the warehouse and be ready to sell, and then getting that product on PPC ads and selling that product, that whole process can be complete. And that's why forecasting is very, very important, not just from marketing perspective, but from overall business planning perspective, and where does marketing stand in the overall business planning. So the way I would look at forecasting and how to do it is, first of all, to check the trends of the previous years, the market trends. What were people searching for? What were the peak times when people were searching for certain things? Or the opposite, what were the times when people were not searching for specific things? Because that helps to understand the demand. Certain products can be very seasonal. For example, radiators sell more in winter, or I don't know, dresses sell more in summer. So all of that kind of starts shaping your forecast. Second, you try to discuss with the client what are their goals as a company for a year, when they want to grow, what they want to grow, like what percentage they want to grow by, and then you try to incorporate that in your forecasting. And finally, you look at the competitors, you look at CPCs, you try to see how CPCs changed over the last couple of months and try to predict how they're going to change in the upcoming few months. Now, that one is tricky because competitors can change their strategy and the market demand can change, and we can't really know what's going to happen in 3 months. But when we have historical performance data and we saw what competitors did in the past, it tends to give us quite a good overview of what they might do in the upcoming few months, and we can try to predict what we expect to see in the accounts in upcoming months. So that is also important to incorporate in your forecasting. The forecast can go wrong because of various factors. So it can be competitors changing their aggression and changing their marketing strategy, which we cannot know because it's confidential data. It can be changed because of market demand. So for example, COVID changed a lot of search terms and search trends, and we couldn't really forecast that the pandemic is going to come when it did. So we didn't really know that is going to happen. So there are various factors why forecasting can go wrong. And usually when it does, you discuss with the client what are the reasons why it went wrong. Was it the market? Was it competitors? Maybe the client launched a new website and it doesn't have as good conversion rate. Or maybe it has far better conversion rate and your performance is actually exceeding. And then you discuss that, you discuss the discrepancies between what you expected to happen and what is actually happening. You explain those reasons for the client, and then we usually tend to reforecast and then again meet with the client and realign expectations to make sure that both sides are happy, that we present a realistic view of what is expected in the upcoming few months or few quarters, I don't know, and that the client would have as realistic understanding as possible of the current market situation. When discussing the performance with the client and looking at the actual performance versus what has been forecasted months and months before, you tend to start looking at the key performance indicators first. So you look at the key metrics like spend, sales, revenue, ROI, or if it's a lead generation client, you look at spend, leads volume, the CPA. Those are the good starting point because they are the main criteria that businesses tend to look at, because they're the main criteria that shows how profitable PPC is for the business. So it's sometimes important to also check the metrics like clicks or impressions or impression share. But at the end of the day, that's not what makes money for the client. So we usually start by looking at the metrics of what has cost you to drive this particular result, and what is the result, understand the profitability. And then we relay back to what was in the forecast and see whether that worked out more profitable or less profitable for the business, because that, at the end of the day, that's the main question they want to answer. And then if the client wants to take a look at other metrics, or if we see that there is a discrepancy between what was forecasted and what the actual results were, that's when we start looking at other metrics to see how can we explain that difference. So if CPCs were higher than we expected, then you can explain why potentially CPA was worse or ROI was worse. But if CPCs are lower, then it's other way around. So other metrics, they kind of help to explain the narrative in a way, but we start by looking at the key performance indicators and then discussing all the questions that the client has. What are the discrepancies between what we said we're going to achieve and what we actually achieve? Whether that's better or worse, it can go both ways. Overall, when I look at forecasting, I think there are three key areas that people should consider. So first of all is check the market, check what is going on with competitors, what is the demand, what are the trends in the demand. Second thing is align expectations with the client as best as possible. And a third thing, and I think I should have put that third thing at the very start because that's a very good starting point, is understand your client's desires, what they want to reach with their PPC strategy, what they want to achieve, and then see how PPC and any marketing channel really can accommodate those targets.